sweating like Prince Andrew in a nightclub right now. But anyway, hello everyone and welcome back to Niš in Serbia. This is part 2 of my mini-Niš series from Serbia's 3rd largest city. I'm about 150 kilometers away from Sofia in Bulgaria, and you'll notice today there is no overly dramatic, snazzy intro sequence because I like to change things up a bit. We're just going to get straight into this video. We're going to have some food. You'll notice over this video and the next one there'll be a bit of a smattering of both food and history to see out our time in Niš and indeed Serbia. So let's get going. This morning I'm heading to Pekara Anton, a bakery, not that one, it's just up there. And I have been reliably informed by numerous people, including locals and Igor from all the Belgrade videos, that this is the best place in Niš for, wait for it, Burek. That's right, Burek is making a comeback. Before we go in, let's just touch on a bit of COVID-19 in Serbia. You'll notice that there's a guy standing outside, he's social distancing. Generally with shops and stuff at the moment, like in banks and things, you do have to queue up outside and you're let in. There's like a limit of people that are allowed inside, I understand, so great. Let's put my mask on. Zdravo, zdravo. Dobar dan. Jedna burek sa sirom, and burek sa krompidom. Oh, no problem. Okay. Just mesom.
Koliko?
Jedna. Right, for any of you that understand my terrible Serbian, you'll know that I'm being a total greedy gobble-gannet today. I asked for the potato burek. They didn't have any, which is a shame, because I really wanted to have that today, because I've never had it before. But I have got 2 other favourites. There was a nice little chess table thing back there I was going to sit on, but guys are sitting there now, so I'll find somewhere else. Brilliant. Right, as always, I found a park bench, classic, and there's an old woman feeding pigeons next to me, which isn't distracting in the slightest. But anyway, we've got yoghurt, of course. You have to have yoghurt with burek. It's classic. You have a sip after every bite, apparently. We've got 2. So as I said, I wanted this potato one, krompidom, but it's not there, so I had to get meat and cheese. Now, let's see which one's which before going into a bit more detail. I did do a video in Belgrade a long time ago about burek, but let's pretend you've never heard of it before and you don't know what it is, and I'll go into a bit of detail. So look at the size of them. OMG to the max. Now this is burek sa sirom, this is burek sa mesom, that's meat, isn't it? Yeah, meat and cheese. However, depending on who you speak to, a lot of people will say that burek, there are no varieties, it's just burek with meat, that's the only burek. But it does depend like who you speak to or where you go. So in Bosnia, for example, this might be called sirnica or pita sirnica or pita sa sirom. There are so many names for it, but you know what, who cares? It's amazing. Yeah, it originates in the Ottoman Empire, as with many foods in the Balkans. It's like a phyllo pastry filled with meat. It's usually like beef, but it depends where you are. So when I was in Bosnia, because of the high Muslim population, it was beef, not pork. You do get pork sometimes. And it's kind of, look inside that one there. It's very sort of soft, so it's not all crispy. And what I really love about this one, I don't think I've seen this before, the top is very golden brown and sort of even burnt up there, which is really nice because I love it when things are like that. And the cheese one is full of like feta cheese kind of thing. Absolutely stunning. And obviously I'm not going to eat all of this right now, because if I did I would have a heart attack. So you know, this is the sort of stuff that people say that Serbians or Balkans eat every day of the week, but really they don't, honestly. But even so, it's a nice little treat. This is classic me, terrible lighting, can't see anything, sitting in a bush. But anyway, let's eat. We've got yogurt here, loving the yogurt. I'm kind of addicted to yogurt, to be honest, in Serbia. It's really nice to have like between bites of burek, because it kind of washes it down, because this is very filling. Okay, let's go with the cheese one first. Lovely. The expanding of the eyes means it's amazing. So yeah, it's soft, crispy on the top because of the golden brown bit. I love that. That's great. Cheese, wonderful. Burek is it's quite heavy and quite fattening and greasy as well. That is beautiful. Oh my god. And of course, you'll notice that I'm so in awe by the burek sa sirom, or whatever it's called. I forgot to have yogurt between bites. Serbians are going to tell me off. Now let's go with the meat one. So, you might remember when I was in Sarajevo, in Bosnia and Herzegovina, I wasn't a big fan. And I must admit, I'm not a big fan of burek with meat, or just regular burek, whatever. But, we'll see what this is like. Okay, there was a child by the camera. But anyway. This is good. Again, crispy on the top, soft in the middle, a nice non-soggy bottom, that's quite crispy as well. But the meat tastes good, it doesn't have that weird aftertaste kind of thing that I had in Bosnia. It's good. Yogurt. What a mess. Sitting in the sun, in Niš, eating burek. This is the life. I popped into Maxi now, hello Plasma, and I just want to point out, was that the best burek in Niš? Well, I don't know, because it's the only place I've had it, but if I compare it to places I've had burek in Belgrade, maybe like 5 or 6 places, yeah, really top quality stuff. Oh, classic. I especially love the golden brown thing at the top, beautiful. So definitely Pekara Anton, place to go in Niš for burek. Thank you to everyone that recommended it. Okay, I'm off with my doggy bag of various burek to a place called Skull Tower, which for some of you may bring up memories of the Chuck, Guybrush Threepwood and the 1980s computer game called Monkey Island, but no, it's nothing to do with that. Is that it over there? I don't know. Okay, that wasn't the entrance. Skull Tower is around here somewhere. Okay, tickets. Everything is closed. Brilliant. Okay, people down there cutting the grass. Oh, look at the lighting. Blue skies, green grass. I love the smell of a freshly mown lawn. Mown lawn, is that right? Except when the grass goes in my nose like just a minute ago. Seriously, is this Skull Tower? Maybe it's closed. I don't see any skulls. Okay, you're probably screaming in the comments, that's not Skull Tower! I swear I looked up a picture of it. Blimmin' heck. 1809? That was when there was the uprising against the Ottoman Empire, right? Well, between early 1800s. Oh my god, I don't know. So the good news is that was the Skull Tower, it is the Skull Tower, but the only way you can get in is by getting a ticket. That place over there, in the distance, over the bridge, 200 dinar, and the only way you can get in is by a guide, using a guide. So she said it's always closed, the chapel bit is always closed to the public. So let's talk about it. And just to clarify, you can't film in there, despite the fact that I did. So basically the guide walks up there, she asks you, have you read about it, do you know about it? I said yeah, she said, oh, I'll wait outside. Great, sorry guide lady. And this is where these videos kind of take a bit of a grim or brutal turn, because that Skull Tower is a really important monument in Serbia. As I said, it's in relation to the uprising against the Ottoman Empire in the early 1800s. And despite the fact that the Ottoman Empire won, they didn't, the Serbs weren't successful at that time. The Ottoman Empire were kind of disgusted by the Serbs' gall at trying to overthrow them. So the leader of the Ottoman Empire ordered the people that had died in the battle to have their heads chopped off, skinned, stuffed with straw and displayed on that tower. There were about 952 skulls, I believe. Now there's about 50 something. And an interesting thing that I read is quite horrific, the fact that there wasn't enough skulls to put on the tower. So this guy, he ordered people that were prisoners to have their heads chopped off and put on there without being skinned. So it's quite horrific and disgusting. And to go in there and think that, these people, although they were dead when they had their heads chopped off, it's still quite grim. The thought of skinning a skull. I believe the people that had to do the skinning did it under threat of death. So they had to do it, this disgusting job with, maybe a gun at their head or something. It's quite horrific. And, it's interesting to come to these places, despite the fact that some people say to me, oh, Skull Tower, it's not all that, but actually the history behind it is quite interesting, it's quite shocking, As I said in the previous video, Niš has got monumental history, and this is just an example of it. Okay, I'm back home now. Probably breaking some sort of rule about eating cold burek. But you know what? I think I prefer it when it's a bit colder. Anyway, you notice the video's a bit shorter than previous videos. That's because I've got a lot of work to do, alright? So there'll be another one coming from Niš, and maybe even another one after that, who knows? Meanwhile, I'm going to enjoy my cold burek, whatever it's called, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. Catch you later. The lesson is, don't do YouTube when you're in the woods. People will now have the same opinion or view of Niš in terms of its historical relevance.